When this research began over 3 years ago, it seemed like a pretty straightforward project. My initial goal was to document the 4 pilot prototype Camaros that were documented in the 1966 F-Car pilot book used to study the electric drive systems. During this research, number 49 surfaced and I rushed to authenticate it. I remember thinking all the information found inspecting this historical build would answer all my questions. Pilot Car Registry authenticated the pilot prototype build as legitimate, but the remaining questions astonished me. None of the preconceived notions of what comprised electric drives fit with any perfection. It became increasingly obvious that we had stumbled upon a topic that had not yet been documented to represent its historical significance. At every turn, another fact stirred the intellectual historian within all of us, and the result is a remarkably concise piece of forgotten automotive history. In hindsight, some of this can be attributed to the levels of secrecy surrounding these programs during development. It was only after the final stages of the development of these individual pieces of technology that these advances were made public. And in some cases, the final product overshadowed the process that brought all these final advances to the public eye. As the overwhelming task unfolded before me, we focused our research in a defined framework to achieve our goals. First, define the electric drive programs of General Motors and the subsequent technological uses. Second, fully document the Electrovare example owned and preserved by the General Motors Heritage Center. Third, fully document the 4 Camaro pilot prototypes used in the electric drive program, number 28, 29, 30, and 49. Fourth, gather all the original photographic evidence of these programs. Fifth, catalog and preserve all the original factory documents of these programs and the people within them. Sixth, personally interview all the remaining individuals relevant to this research. Seventh, share this information in a transparent manner that would preserve the historical significance for future generations. In the early stages of this project, I had no idea that this would lead to the lunar rover. Consequently, what started as a small defined project quickly morphed into a vastly larger labor. This research began over 3 years ago and involved the dedication of several researchers. These researchers wore many hats and were responsible for a multitude of tasks. Our research required an extensive amount of travel to personally interview and gain access to the sensitive material that was used. The sensitive materials were donated to the project from the men that lived these moments. I have chosen to publish these sensitive documents within this research because it definitively proves the stories of these men's contributions. The entirety of this story is told from the voices of these men, the people closest to them and these original documents. Their stories and these documents tell a piece of history that was never written. This was a result of the non-disclosure agreements that were required within this work, and the subsequent cleansing of the facts that were released to the press.